Welcome to Miss Scarlett, the place to be feminine. Subscribe and enjoy. The old wooden floorboards creaked under Ryan's feet as he tiptoed down the hallway, heart pounding in his chest. He paused outside the bedroom door, listening intently. Silence. Natalie must still be out running errands. Perfect. He slipped inside the room and made a beeline for her vanity in the corner. Opening the top drawer, his eyes widened at the glittering array of lipsticks, eyeshadows, and brushes nestled inside. His fingers hovered tentatively over a tube of deep red lipstick. Dare he? A thrill ran through him as he picked it up and uncapped it with a soft pop. He turned to face the vanity mirror. With a shaking hand, he traced the lipstick over his thin lips, watching them transform into a crimson pout. A quiet sigh escaped him. He felt more himself somehow, freer when wearing a touch of makeup. Ryan had always been fascinated by the ritual of applying cosmetics, the artistry and transformation of it. As a young boy, he would watch mesmerized as his mother got ready for work in the mornings, sweeping on mascara and dusting her cheeks with rosy blush. But he knew it wasn't something boys were supposed to be interested in, so he buried that part of himself deep down. Until he met Natalie. Beautiful, vivacious Natalie, who had a flair for dramatic eye makeup and bold lip colors. After they married, he would often sit on the bed and watch her get ready for their date nights, admiring her skill with the brushes. He longed to try it himself. It started with sneaking a swipe of her lip gloss one day when she was in the shower. The sweet strawberry taste, the high shine gloss on his lips in the mirror. It gave him a secret thrill. He began covertly experimenting more and more with her makeup when he had the house to himself. A dash of mascara to darken his pale lashes, a swirl of glittery eyeshadow, streaks of blush on his cheekbones. For those stolen moments, he could explore this buried side of himself. Emboldened, Ryan reached for an eyeshadow palette and swirled a brush in the shimmery copper shade. He had just touched it to his eyelid when a sharp gasp made him freeze. "Ryan, what on earth are you doing?" Natalie stood in the doorway, shopping bags dangling forgotten from her hands as she gaped at him. Shame burned in his cheeks. He braced himself for her disgust, her anger, but then her shocked expression softened into something tender, almost understanding. She set the bags down and approached him slowly. "Sweetie, do you like wearing makeup?" she asked gently. He nodded jerkily, feeling tears prick his eyes. "I'm sorry, Nat. I know it's weird and wrong. I'll stop, I promise." "Shh, no. It's not weird or wrong at all." She cupped his face in her hands, making him meet her warm gaze. "You never need to hide any part of yourself from me. I love every bit of you." Tears spilled down his cheeks at her acceptance. "You don't think I'm a freak?" "Of course not. You're my husband and I adore you." She brushed her thumbs over his cheekbones. "In fact, would you like me to teach you some techniques? Give you a little makeover?" He nodded shyly, hardly believing this was happening. Natalie beamed at him. "Sit down, sweetie. Let's start with a good foundation base." For the next hour, Ryan sat in blissful rapture as Natalie worked her magic on his face, gently explaining every step. The soft sweeps of the brushes, the focused way she lined his eyes and painted his lips, the little hums of approval she made. He had never felt so pampered, so seen. When she finally turned him to face the mirror, he hardly recognized his reflection. Smoky shadow made his blue eyes pop beguilingly. Contoured cheekbones and a subtle shimmer on his skin made him look sculpted and radiant. His lips were lacquered in that traffic-stopping red. "There, beautiful!" Natalie declared proudly. "How do you feel?" "I feel..." He struggled for words. "Free. More myself than I've ever been." Happy tears welled up. Thank you for accepting me. Sweetheart, I fell in love with your beautiful soul, not your gender expression. She wrapped her arms around him from behind, meeting his shining eyes in the mirror. You never need to hide your authentic self. Not from me, not from anyone. I love you so much, he whispered. I love you too, all of you. She pressed a kiss to his temple. Now, what do you say we go out to dinner so you can show off your stunning new look? I want the whole world to see how gorgeous my husband is. Ryan's heart swelled with emotion. For the first time, he felt fully seen, fully accepted, fully loved, male, female, and everything in between. Over the next weeks and months, makeup sessions with Natalie became a regular occurrence. She taught him all the tricks, how to create a sharp cat eye with liquid liner, how to make his lips look plumper with lip liner and gloss, how to contour his features into more feminine proportions. Ryan drank in every lesson eagerly. Slowly, his collection of products began to rival Natalie's. He started wearing subtle makeup even to work at the library, reveling in his secret. A hint of tinted moisturizer to even out his skin, a dab of blush, some brown mascara to open up his eyes. Nothing too obvious, but it made him feel more put together, more himself. And if he wore red lipstick for date nights with Natalie, well, no one else had to know. As his skills and confidence grew, so too did his desire to explore his femininity further. With Natalie's loving support, he began incorporating more traditionally female-coded items into his wardrobe. Lacy lingerie under his button-ups, cute ankle socks with his Oxfords, touches of floral prints. He even started growing out his hair a bit. You know, I've been thinking, Natalie said one night as they lay curled together in bed, Ryan in a silky floral nightgown. Maybe it's time we pick out a name for you, for this side of you that we're nurturing. Ryan propped himself up on an elbow. Like a feminine name? If you want. It could be something just for us to use in private, or all the time if you decide you want that. She traced her fingers over his arm. What do you think? He considered it, a tingle of excitement in his belly, a name, an identity to encapsulate the woman he felt like inside. I think I'd like that, he said softly. Did you have anything in mind? Natalie smiled, a sparkle in her eye. What about Lana? It means light, and that's what you are. You light up my world. Lana, he repeated, trying it out on his tongue. A smile bloomed across his face. It's perfect, I love it. Well then, nice to meet you, Lana. Natalie pulled her in for a deep, loving kiss. From that day forward, Ryan began thinking of himself more and more as Lana. Natalie took to calling her by her chosen name all the time, making Lana's heart flutter each time. It felt so right, so affirming. They continued to expand Lana's wardrobe, picking up skirts and dresses and cute cardigans at thrift stores and outlet malls. Lana learned to walk effortlessly in kitten heels. She pierced her ears and began collecting dangly earrings and delicate necklaces. Her hair now brushed her shoulders in soft waves. The day Natalie brought home a bag full of razors, scented shaving gel, and body lotion, Lana nearly wept with joy. That night, Natalie helped her shave her legs for the first time, showing her how to lather up and use smooth, even strokes to get the closest shave. The feel of the razor gliding over her skin, leaving behind nothing but silky smoothness, was so sensual and intimate. Natalie rubbed sweet-smelling lotion into Lana's freshly shaven legs, peppering kisses up her calves and thighs. How does that feel, baby girl? Natalie purred, nuzzling her smooth skin. Incredible, Lana sighed dreamily, arching into her touch. I feel so nice. You are, my soft, beautiful girl. They made love then, slow and reverently, Lana's smooth legs wrapped around Natalie's waist. She had never felt so worshipped, so cherished. Natalie bought her first bottle of perfume for her next, a light, airy scent with notes of orange blossom and vanilla. Lana took to dabbing it on her wrists and behind her ears every morning, breathing in the delicate fragrance. It became her signature scent, one that made her feel utterly feminine. She began wearing skirts and dresses at home all the time now, loving the way they swished around her smooth legs. She spoke in a softer, slightly higher-pitched voice, the dulcet tones of Lana. Her mannerisms became more graceful, more genteel. Natalie took to calling her "my lady" and treating her like a princess. But even as Lana blossomed under Natalie's adoring attention, seeds of insecurity still plagued her. She worried what people would think if they discovered her secret. She still presented as male at work, terrified of the backlash if her colleagues knew she liked to wear women's clothing. Only within the safety of their home did she feel free to be herself fully. "I wish I was brave enough to go out in public as Lana," she confessed to Natalie one evening, fiddling with the hem of her skirt. "I'm just so afraid of people's reactions, of them looking at me like I'm a freak." Natalie took her hands and squeezed them. "Sweetie, I understand being scared. Coming out is a process, and you should only do it when you feel completely ready. There's no shame in taking your time." Lana bit her lip. "I know! I just hate feeling like I'm hiding. I want to be able to hold your hand and kiss you in the street without people doing double takes. Tell you what, why don't we start small? We can go out together somewhere Lana can blend in, scope out the reactions, build up your confidence bit by bit." Lana perked up. "Like where?" A mischievous grin spread over Natalie's face. "I have an idea. There's a Crossdressers Club night downtown next weekend. Very welcoming crowd. Lana would fit right in there. We could get all dolled up, go dancing. What do you say?" Excitement and nervousness warred in Lana's belly. People like her. Somewhere she could be herself without fear. "Let's do it," she said, adrenaline already thrumming through her veins. The night of, Natalie helped Lana get ready. She zipped her into a slinky red dress that hugged her figure, the hem flirting with her mid-thigh. Glossy black pumps and a swipe of matte red lipstick completed the look. Lana stared at her reflection, hardly recognizing the bombshell gazing back at her. "Wow," she breathed. Natalie slid her arms around Lana's waist, resplendent in a sequined top and leather pants. "Wow is right. You're going to be breaking hearts left and right tonight." Lana turned in her arms, suddenly bashful. "I don't know about that. I'm still so new at this. So awkward." "Hey." Natalie tipped her chin up. "None of that. You are a gorgeous, confident woman, and you are going to own that dance floor. Just focus on having fun and enjoying being yourself." Lana took a deep breath and nodded. "You're right. Let's do this." The club was dark, loud, and packed with bodies gyrating to a pulsing beat. Rainbow lights flashed and strobed. Lana clutched Natalie's hand as they shouldered their way through the crowd. Her eyes widened as she took in the array of people around her. Drag queens in towering wigs, muscular guys in glittery shorts, androgynous people in wild makeup. For once, Lana didn't feel like she stuck out. Natalie pulled her onto the dance floor, and they began to move to the music, hips swaying and arms lifted. The bass reverberated through the soles of Lana's heels and up into her bones. Sweat trickled down her spine. Any hints of self-consciousness melted away as she lost herself in the beat and the joy of being out in the world as her true self. They danced for hours, wrapped up in each other and the infectious energy of the crowd. A few people complimented Lana's dress and makeup, making her flush with pride. She felt a swell of confidence, of rightness. This was where she belonged. When the night wound down, they spilled out into the street, ears ringing and feet sore, hands still clasped. Natalie pulled Lana against her and kissed her deeply right there on the sidewalk, not caring who saw. Lana responded eagerly, arms twining around her neck. She had never felt so free, so uninhibited. "So, how was your first foray into the world as Lana?" Natalie asked when they broke apart, foreheads touching. Lana grinned, still buzzing with elation and vodka cranberries. "Incredible. I felt so alive, like I could finally breathe. I'm so proud of you, baby. You were the most beautiful girl in there. Thank you for giving me the courage." Lana nuzzled her nose against Natalie's. "I love you so much. And I love you, my gorgeous, brave girl. Always." They shared one more exultant kiss under the glow of the street lamps before strolling off into the night, hand in hand, ready to face the future together. Ryan, Natalie, and Lana, in all her newfound glory. Lana sat at her vanity, excitement fluttering in her stomach as Natalie laid out an array of makeup products before her. It had been a few weeks since their triumphant night out at the club, and Lana was eager to further explore and refine her makeup skills. She wanted to learn how to create different looks for different occasions, soft and romantic, bold and glamorous, professional and polished. "I thought we could try a vintage Hollywood starlet look today," Natalie said, uncapping a bottle of primer. "Flawless skin, dramatic winged liner, red lips, classic and timeless." Lana nodded eagerly, pulse picking up at the thought of channeling such iconic beauty. "Sounds perfect. Let's start with a good base." Natalie dispensed a pea-sized amount of primer onto her fingertips and gently massaged it into Lana's skin in circular motions. The silky texture glided on smoothly, instantly blurring the appearance of pores and fine lines. Next, she picked up a damp beauty sponge and bounced it in a pot of creamy foundation a few shades lighter than Lana's natural skin tone. "The key to this look is a matte porcelain complexion," she explained as she stippled the product over Lana's face, paying extra attention to the center where redness tended to peek through. The cool liquid melted into her skin like a second skin, erasing any hints of imperfection. Setting the sponge aside, Natalie selected a small pot of salmon-toned concealer and dabbed it under Lana's eyes with her ring finger, gently tapping to meld it seamlessly with the foundation. The peachy pigment neutralized any shadows or darkness, making Lana look bright-eyed and well-rested. "Tilt your head back for me, honey," Natalie murmured, wielding a large, fluffy brush dipped in translucent setting powder. She swirled it over Lana's face in feather-light strokes, banishing any shine and locking the flawless base in place. Lana closed her eyes, savoring the delicate sweep of the bristles over her skin. "Beautiful. Now, let's add some dimension." Natalie picked up a smaller, angled brush and swirled it through a cool-toned taupe contouring powder. With precise strokes, she carved out the hollows of Lana's cheeks, buffing the shadow up towards her temples. A few deft swipes along her jawline and down the sides of her nose added subtle definition, enhancing her bone structure. Lana watched, transfixed, as her features took on a more chiseled, striking appearance. Natalie was an artist, her face the canvas. Next, Natalie dusted a soft peach blush over the apples of Lana's cheeks with a fluffy brush, swirling it back towards her hairline for a natural-looking flush. The delicate pop of color made her look fresh and radiant, like she was lit from within. "Time for the fun part," Natalie announced with a grin, uncapping a jet-black liquid eyeliner. "Look straight ahead for me and try to keep still." Lana obeyed, fixing her gaze on her reflection as Natalie carefully drew the liner along her upper lash line in short, even strokes. When she reached the outer corner of Lana's eye, she flicked the brush up and out in a crisp wing, the sharp point tapering elegantly. Lana marveled at the steadiness of her hands, the precision and artistry in her movements. Natalie repeated the process on the other eye, ensuring the wings were even and symmetrical. The effect was striking. Lana's blue eyes looked bigger, brighter, more feline. She felt a thrill of feminine power looking at her reflection. With a spoolie brush, Natalie combed through Lana's brows, shaping and defining the delicate arches. A few hair-like strokes of brow pomade filled in any sparse areas, framing her eyes flawlessly. Picking up a voluminous black mascara, Natalie wiggled the wand at the base of Lana's lashes and pulled upward in long, smooth strokes. The inky formula clung to each individual lash, lengthening and thickening until they looked lush and fluttery against her cheeks. A final coat on her lower lashes tied the look together. "Pucker up, Buttercup!" Natalie teased, twisting up a tube of classic red lipstick. Lana complied, parting her lips slightly as Natalie traced the bullet along her Cupid's bow, filling in her pout with smooth, even strokes. The vibrant pigment glided on like satin, instantly making her mouth look fuller and more sensual. Natalie used a lip brush to perfect the edges, cleaning up any smudges and ensuring a crisp, defined shape. She finished with a light dusting of translucent powder around the edges to prevent bleeding. "And voila!" she said with a flourish, turning Lana to face the mirror. "Old Hollywood glamour." Lana stared at her reflection in awe. The person gazing back at her was a bombshell, all sultry eyes and flawless skin and lacquered red lips. She looked like she had stepped out of a black and white movie, a siren from a bygone era. Yet she also looked unequivocally herself, just the most polished, elevated version. "Wow," she breathed, tilting her head to admire the makeup from different angles. "I look gorgeous, glamorous, absolutely stunning," Natalie supplied, resting her chin on Lana's shoulder and meeting her eyes in the mirror with a proud smile. "You wear it so well, honey." Lana swallowed around the sudden lump of emotion in her throat. "I feel beautiful," she said softly. "I never imagined I could look like this, that I could feel this confident." Natalie pressed a kiss to her cheek, careful not to smudge the artistry. "You are beautiful, inside and out. I hope you're starting to see yourself the way I've always seen you." Lana turned on the vanity bench to face her, taking Natalie's hands in her own. "Thank you," she said fervently, "for everything, for helping me find myself, for loving me through it all. It's the easiest thing in the world, loving you." Natalie leaned in, stopping just short of her lips. "Even if you do test my willpower in that red lipstick." Lana laughed, giddy and light. "Well, we can't have that." She closed the scant distance between them, pressing her lips to Natalie's in a long, slow kiss. The waxy taste of the lipstick mingled with the familiar sweetness of Natalie's mouth, intoxicating. When they finally broke apart, Natalie's lips were stained scarlet, utterly debauched. The sight sent a bolt of heat straight to Lana's core. "You've created a monster," Lana purred, tracing the smear with the pad of her thumb. "I'm going to need this look every day if it gets you to kiss me like that." Natalie captured her hand, pressing a kiss to her palm. Her eyes glinted with mischief and promise.
"Your wish is my command, my lady."
In that moment, Lana felt more herself than she ever had before. A woman confident in her own beauty, cherished and desired, finally home in her own skin.